So if you guys watched my video on the Krytac CRB Alpha, which is what I have right here, the Alpha series actually, you'll know the differences between the Alpha and the Trident. Now, if you guys didn't know, Krytac has two different tiers of guns, believe it or not. They do have the Alpha, which is their lower end, and it's far from low end by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of like the lower end of the premium tier of guns, and then they have the Trident, which is the high end of the premium tier. Now, the differences are probably, you're thinking, are a lot, because there's 70 some odd US dollars between this. This gun is around $275 US, and the Trident is around $345 US, give or take, depending on where you're shopping. But under the hood and outside the hood, there's really not that much difference. You do have a few different things externally, a little bit different on the rail and different butt cap here in the back. That's about it. Also internally, well, you got a motor and a spring, and that's it. That's the only difference. You still get all the other great Krytac internals. So that got me thinking here. What if I bought the gun that costs $275, throw about $50, $60 worth of parts in this thing, and get it shooting better than the $345 gun? Let's see if that's possible. So under the hood, I went ahead and did a few things. I just grabbed a barrel and I grabbed the new spring. Spring out of the box, something I had sitting around, but you guys can pick up really anything you want. Kind of a lower end M120 or a higher end, little stiffer M110 should get you to that limit. This being a little smaller barrel, you might want to fare on the 120 side, although if you get a good air seal, the 110 might be it. So you might want to experiment. Quick change spring allows you to do that without having to tear the mech box apart. And that's kind of the whole concept of this build. For the barrel, I kind of splurged here, but you guys don't have to. I'm a big fan of Prometheus, and Krytac is going to be carrying the new Prometheus barrels that fit their guns. So I kind of pulled some strings and grabbed one of those because I really wanted a real good barrel in here. In fact, Prometheus is pretty darn awesome being a Japanese-made brand. But if you guys want another premium brand like TN, let's say, you can track one of those down. Or if you guys want to go more budget, like a Mad Bull barrel or something like that, or pretty much a barrel anywhere you can pick up, do what you guys want, because having a good Type bore barrel in a gun, even though the ones that come in these things are good, getting a real precision Type bore does make a difference, at least in my experience. But with the stock bucking and everything else, those .33 gram BBs, we're gonna do a little shooting test, and what better way than just in the back lot behind a local shop here, Thunderkiss Northwest, and we're gonna do some real world accuracy testing back there against those trees. All right, so I'm set up at about 100 feet right now, back to that power box. I put a little battery box I have up there on top to use as a target. I think 100 feet is about right. That's gonna be your normal engagement. And I'm gonna push this thing out too, so don't feel like, hey, just 100 feet and that's it. We're gonna take this thing out and see how far it goes, probably get it closer to that 200 foot mark to see how accurate we can get at that range. Again, this is a CQB gun. I mean, even though it does have the upgrades, you're still looking at something to do engagements within that 150 to 200 foot range, definitely within 100 feet for most of your airsoft firefights. So this should do a good job testing it out. So now it's time for a little iPro and some real world testing. All right, here we go. That's the target way out there. All right, it's time to go. Three shots and I already pegged it, which is actually pretty darn good considering I'm using iron sights on this thing and I'm a little over 100 feet up for my measurements. So we're gonna try this again. I've got it sideways right now. Let's see if I can hit it again. There we go, 5 shots, and that's the box sideways. So I went from a 4-inch target to a 2-inch target. And I was missing it by just a little bit, if you guys can see in the video there. So I'll be honest, man, this thing is super dialed in. But the real question is, 100 feet or 110 where I'm at now is doable. Let's push this thing back to 200, test the limits, see how many shots it's gonna take to knock this thing down, and see if you can get a really well-built gun for, well, a lot cheaper than buying the premium one. All right, so now I'm way out there. That's it, I'm here. And I'm gonna go reset that guy right now. So this will give you an idea of how far of a walk it is to get down here to do this reset. From before, I was shooting halfway right here. So now we're gonna be shooting the whole way. Again, we're looking at about 200 feet on this one. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. See how long it's gonna take. Might have to dial the hop up in a little bit because I had it set for that 100-foot shot, but we'll see. I have high hopes. Again, remember, I'm using iron sights here, so I don't have a chance of having an optic or any other good elevated sight. This is a long shot in airsoft. I mean, at this point, most hop-ups are going to be dying off. Again, 200 feet is pretty good. It's going to be at the end of most engagement distances when it comes to this sport we play. Now, I know what some of you guys are going to say, but hey, Jonathan, I got a gun to shoot 300 feet. That's true, but is it only shooting 400 feet per second? Does it have a stock bucking in it? And just very minor upgrades. Again, this test is all about testing what a gun can do with minor upgrades, not really high-end ones. So, let's grab the gun and shoot it again. So there you go. After a few semis, a few fulls, I was able to hit the target. Again, we're talking 200 plus feet out here. So at this range, doing a little burst is pretty good. Remember, that's the size of someone's fist or foot that's sticking out. So we're going really extreme on the test here. So I'm going to set it back up one more time, see if I can pop it and semi. All right, so this time I set it up with the orange cones, a little easier to see. Put the target on top, so then you guys can understand the range we're looking at here. 200 feet, semi-auto only. We're gonna see if we can hit this thing. Seventh shot right there. So, seventh shot, you can hit a guy's fist at that distance with this rifle. That is impressive. And all the other ones, if you guys were listening, I know you probably can't hear that far out, were all hitting very close. They were dinging the fence right behind it. They were missing the cone or barely hitting the cone. That one, I drilled it straight on. So there you go, guys. Proof, 200 feet, a simple upgrade, floating in around a $300 price point or a hair over, you can build an awesome gun. All right, so that's it. As you guys can tell, this is pretty darn impressive. This guy right here, I'm gonna tell you, by a small upgrade, just a little bit of work, you can make this thing into a beast. Not that it's a beast already, or not a beast already, because at 300 feet per second, it's admirable for indoors, but you're just gonna lack on that range. So if you wanna turn something into an outdoor gun, minimum cost, and again, make it your own, get a precision barrel, something really good, and then tune it up for not much money, definitely take a look at the Krytac Alpha, grab yourself a Type bore, throw a new spring in here, and you're gonna have a monster that can pop heads at 200 plus feet every single time. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out and watching this video. And by the way, if you guys want to learn more about the Krytac CRB Alpha series, or the Trident for that matter, if you guys want to go bigger, definitely check one of these out. But I will say this, have the option, save a few bucks, grab the Alpha, throw a spring in there, throw a Type bore barrel in, and you can have a monster that could even potentially outgun that Trident. Also, guys, consider subscribing down below. I really appreciate subscribers here. If you guys want to be up to date on all the things, everything I do, I put out videos 3 times a week. Mondays I've got a Q&A, and Wednesdays and Fridays I've got stuff just like this. Again, hit that, and then if you guys really want to know, hit that notification button. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next episode of Airsoftology Reviews. But until then, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.